and welcome to OzByDrone.
Hi, everybody.
I was going to say I'm Greg and he's John, but he's there.
I'm John. He's Greg. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome to good internet because John's not in Sydney today. He's gone to Adelaide.
I'm in Adelaide again. I was on the road last time, and now I'm actually have good NBN rolling. So I'm here for the day. It's going to be great fun.
Sounds like fun. Before we do anything, I do have to comment. I've been watching the chat coming in there. Joe Blaylock, thank you for your super chat, $25. And then we've got Ken Heron, $5 from good old Kenny.
Now, I got an issue. I got an issue
What?
here, Greg. I mean, it really sort of says something to you, though. If people start giving you money while you're not on, I mean, is that saying something? I mean, we haven't, either they're keen or they're saying perhaps you don't need to come on. I don't know. I'm just.
Are you telling me to get off?
I don't know. I mean, we might make more money if we don't get on, so who knows?
Okay, let's put the music. No, I won't put the music back. Thanks also to Geeks Varner, a £5. Thanks, Geeks Varner. And Artco Drone Solutions, a $5 super chat from him. Lloydie, feel free to go and put those back up on the screen again as a quick little appreciation. Thank you to those people.
Looking at the chat today, do we have a special guest that is going to come in today and make today's show one of those very special shows?
There could be someone in the green room at the moment. There could be someone there, but we'll have to wait and see.
That's going to be good. Yeah, I can hear that. I can hear that pigeon tweeting.
Well, let's get started. Before we do anything, what's been happening for you this week? Anything interesting?
I had a good time in Adelaide. I've been doing a little bit of flying here, which has been fun. Also, again, working on some solutions for marine surveillance, which has kind of been fun as well. I've been reading up on the new European regulations that are coming in. The EU is stepping forward with a new open category, which is kind of exciting. And the other big one is I've been waiting for the new DJI aircraft to come out because I absolutely want one of those. I've been raiding my piggy bank all week and counting the coins. I think it's going to be a great aircraft. I think it's going to be fun, and it's going to take us back to another level of a hobby, another idea of a hobby that perhaps many of us haven't seen yet. So I think that's really exciting.
Did you say you're waiting for the...
Now, look, the sooner you stop playing that, I mean, right away, exactly, we're going to be able to call it. I don't know why they called it that, but look, anyway, it is exciting. And there's some other questions about the aircraft too, which we'll ask our guest today, who's got some special information on it. So who knows? Yeah,
absolutely. Our guest has apparently flown the aircraft, but more on that later. For right now, it's time to get into...
the news.
And I press the button, and I'll tell you what, before I get into the news, I want to share something. It didn't work then, but it wasn't a wire crash. It wasn't a titler crash. It was a computer crash. The weirdest thing happened to me today. Just the USB interface to a few devices was the one that was causing it, and I had to reboot things. And so if I press that button again, it should work. No, it still didn't work. No titles today.
Okay.
It's okay.
Titles don't work on my side either.
Yeah, okay. No titles today. But OzByDrone News is brought to you by AirData UAV. Is your drone healthy, or is it about to surprise you on your next flight? Don't wait to find out. Discover information that's under the hood and review the early signs of problems before you take off again. Use discount code OzByDrone20 to get a 20% discount. There is a link to their website in the description.
Yep.
So... right now, I would do a title that said NASA Sky Crane. So let's have a quick look at this video as we start and play it. I'll talk over the top of it a little bit, I think.
We are starting the straighten up and fly right maneuver, where the spacecraft will jettison the entry balance masses in preparation for parachute deploy and to roll over to give the radar a better look at the ground.
So this is just the brief intro. We've edited a lot and we've skipped.
Shoot deploy.
So I wanted to talk about the shoot deploy.
Confirmed that the parachute has deployed, and we are seeing significant deceleration.
So very first, the shoot deployment, there's a coded message for those who didn't hear about that. I'm a geek and I'm into that. There is actually a secret coded message inside those markings on the chute. Had you heard about that, John?
No, I haven't heard about that, but I'm trusting a geek will be able to tell me. Look at that image. That's great. I have seen these. Fantastic.
And this bit here, of course, the deployment of the Sky Crane and its payload.
Yeah, look at that. So we've got a jet-powered UAV, and then
Absolutely.
Of course, it unloads the ground rover UAV.
Confirmed.
Or
safely on the surface of Mars, ready to begin seeking the signs of past life.
Yeah, but check the multi-rotor. Check the multi-rotor that comes out. Have you seen that?
Yeah, absolutely. But
that's fantastic.
I want to talk about the Sky Crane, and I've got another couple of videos related to some of this, and we'll talk about one of the challenges. The biggest challenge, I think, in what they were doing there is the pendulum effect. So they're dropping this thing down underneath that. And my question to you today is, how did they do it? But let's just go to a couple more videos. The second one, drone company Pix4D has created an impressive 3D model of NASA's Perseverance rover landing site from the official landing images. So this was really cool. And they've done that 3D model of the surface and also the trajectory going down.
Yeah, look at that.
Have you seen that one yet, John?
No, I haven't seen that. That's great. I wonder if they had to account for wind. I haven't even thought about that yet. There's no wind on Mars, is there?
But here's another question. How do they account for positioning in general? Because GPS...
Well, no, there's no GPS there. But
exactly.
Absolutely.
I mean, what's the EXIF data that's going to come in every frame? If it's not coming in every frame, then are they using the video data only and cross-matching it and stitching?
Well, we had that story last week about navigating without GPS and using visual data and stereo cameras. And that technology is advanced to such a level that you can gain real-time 3D data from visual cameras and process it in real time. So we're at that stage. And of course, then if you've got a bit of a map of Mars and you use it to compare your current map with where the aircraft is, you can easily fix a position. So we're hoping one day that, of course, our quads don't need GPS because it's not a perfect world. I mean, at the moment, most of the DJI aircraft use visual positioning below 11 meters. We know that, and it overrides the GPS. So you always get a wobble with GPS. It's not accurate within the same sort of spec. So I mean, maybe NASA borrowed some of their technology from DJI.
Possibly. Let's have a look at the third video, and this is what I was talking about before. The pendulum effect is one of the larger challenges with the Sky Crane operation with the landing on Mars. Let's have a look.
The Sky Crane is essentially an aerial crane with multiple rockets for propulsion and control that help to slow the descent of the crane rover system, before finally lowering the rover to the surface with a winch. Once the rover is on the surface, the tether is let go, and the Sky Crane flies off for a rapid scheduled disassembly on the surface of Mars miles away.
That's hard to control, huh? Wow.
So the guy that made this video, he basically tried to do a small-scale experiment where he was trying to replicate as much as he could with the equipment he had, what they were doing. And his quad that he had a winch that was rolling something down, and as soon as the length of the rope got to a certain level, the pendulum effect, he had great difficulty in controlling it. So my question to you, John, what did NASA do? What was the answer?
What was the answer? The answer, of course, is that you are able to adjust the movement of the vehicle that's providing the propulsion to minimise the pendulum effect. Obviously, it's not very steady. Now, Lloyd is going to love this, perhaps. I'd love his comment on it. 10 years ago, the University of Oklahoma produced a paper on tethered oscillations from a quadcopter, and they did all these experiments, and they talked about putting light weights on the tether so that it would minimise oscillation, wind effect, all sorts of things for powered tethers, and also for tethering and sling loads. And we actually stole that document and developed for Australian regulations some of the procedures for safely tethering below quadcopters. But it's been around for a decade, and the university did a great job on testing all of that. So the data's there already, but obviously not in our sample.
Yeah. Lloyd?
Yeah, I had known about that, and usually it's the other way around. It's usually Australia invents it and everybody else steals it, or you guys just give it away. So, hey, turnabout's fair play. But yeah, University of Oklahoma. I actually remember reading about that here a while back because they've done some updates to it, I think, and so yeah, they're pretty. University of Oklahoma is pretty cutting edge on a lot of technology right now because, they're part of the people that helped develop the Doppler radar. Because, so anyways, but yeah, that's typical Australia. Oklahoma invents something, somebody else steals it. So, yeah, usually it's Texas.
I was so pleased to find it, Lloyd, because it was really, really thorough. And we were able to show how you could do it safely and what the lengths would be for oscillation, what the wind limits would be. They had everything there laid out to share, and we just basically took it into the procedures. And so now you have a formula. So depending on the payload and the tether length and so forth and the wind, you just punch in the numbers and you get all the right data. So it works really well. Obviously, NASA used their best intelligence to do it and their best technology to do it. But the other thing is that, and I might come back to my question, what's the wind on Mars? Can one of our enlightened viewers here tell us what wind on Mars there is?
Yeah,
Doesn't some of the planets have, like Jupiter, have like 200-mile-an-hour winds or something?
Yeah, if someone could go do some Googling, we'd love to find out about the wind on Mars and what effect that might have had. Good question.
I mean, if Grumpy was there, there'd be wind on Mars, but
Okay, and with that, we'll go to our next story.
Like I was saying.
Okay, and again, apologies, our titles are not coming up on screen, but this is a story not so much about drone technology, but the use of a drone and its technology. There's no doubt that the use of drones can bring different perspectives to many things that we see in the world. This video provided an aerial perspective of a memorial designed as a tribute to the passing of an American-Irish teenager who passed in a recent accident, and it was beautiful footage. I wanted to share it with you all. Just something that was came up in my newsfeed this week, and a very touching use of drone technology. Yeah,
it's cool. Maybe we could have a thing. I when I was flying for a charter company up north, we used to. I can't believe I'm telling this story after that beautiful footage, but I'm going to. We used to have sometimes to take up people's ashes in a light aircraft and deliver them. Pour them over the town or over a lake or something outside. Well, it was a great idea. So one day I've gone up in the Cessna 182 and I've got the ashes there. And, of course, you guess what happened? I mean, I hadn't really thought about this. I'm opening up the side window, exactly, and I go to pour the ashes out. And, of course, immediately the whole cabin is just filled with these ashes. And all of
I'm watching Grumpy in the background laughing.
And I'm covered in soot. You can't see anything else. And so in the end, when I got back to base, I landed and I sort of wiped myself up a bit and I gave the people back, I said, look, everything went fantastic. And then I had to proceed for the next hour to get the vacuum cleaner up. And, they ended up in a vacuum cleaner. I mean, that sucks.
Oh, and so does that joke.
That sucks. Yeah, okay. That's bad.
Sorry.
That sounds like a joke I'd do.
Yeah, okay. I know. Sorry.
Our next story is a story about a construction drone. Rebar is an essential component in concrete structures. Rebar is placed on a grid and tied together to hold the rebar, the structure in place. This is essential to keep the rods in position when the concrete is poured. Nothing spectacular there, but this is pretty dull and repetitive and a dangerous job. Researchers have found that people are getting lots of musculoskeletal injuries. So have a look at this. This is a drone that's doing it the technology way. So, John, I'd say that this certainly puts a twist on the use of drones in construction.
Boom, boom. You know, I like the way the drone industry does all this kind of stuff, the drone in the box thing. I mean, to show us a cartoon of something clever, and there's not, the real airplane doesn't do it, does it? Am I right here? Are we looking at a great idea in cartoon? Just saying.
John, when I looked at that video, and apologies, I wasn't watching at that time. I went to go and fix Heidlas, but when I saw it the first time, it actually looked to me that some of that footage was genuine. Okay.
I'm cool with that. I think it's great. I mean, someone's got a job and they thought, let's get a drone to do that. It does. It's fantastic. If it was an environment where, you know, it was dangerous to do and have someone there, it's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, this is called...
I look at it curiously, though, because, you know, I mean, I don't know. There's a whole lot of people... This is
called SkyTie, and let me just quickly tell you. So there's a ground station, a master mapping drone that goes across the site first. And then you've got multiple tying drones which are using the data from the mapping system to go and do the tying and the work. I don't think it's real.
It's tying concrete or reinforcement, together. Yeah, rebar together. Okay, that's good. Show me some more NASA stuff.
Okay, look, I'll.
Is that wrong? I shoot me down, everybody. It's okay. It's good. It's a great idea. It's fantastic.
Okay.
I don't want one of those. I don't need one of those.
Well, I just pressed the button for the title for our next one, a modular drone, and this one is a Russian drone, not quite NASA. Zala Aero Group unveiled their ZX-1, a new hybrid unmanned aerial vehicle at the 2021 International Defence Industry Exhibition Conference, which opened on 21 Feb in Abu Dhabi. What makes this different to many others in the market is the configurability of the product to match operational requirements. Check it out. Now, this one's obviously got some video production involved in the creation of this, but again, I believe the product is real. It's been launched. They did have the physical unit at the conference.
You can see here that the catapult launch one is virtually the same machine, and when you put the quad bars on, you can turn it into a VTOL, of course.
Yeah. So we'll see that at the end of the video. I think they actually changed the wings. Put it on this little thing over here, change the wings, get rid of the quad configuration and go straight to the catapult launch.
Yeah, right. And so Quantum Systems do that with their vector aircraft, and what you do is you take the wings off and you put two booms on and it turns into a tricopter, which is really, really cool as well. Yeah, I get that. Long range, a lot more range, 4 hours. Pretty cool.
Okay. Look, an
Expensive.
interesting aircraft.
Real expensive.
It's not going to be a home aircraft, but it's interesting to have a look at the configurability of that. And I'm sure over time that we'll get more configurable consumer grade equipment as well. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to skip temporarily the next story, and we're going to go, there's a video in there. I'm just talking to my producer. We're going to play that instead of bringing our guest up first.
No, bring the guest.
No. Well, you'll understand why. Let's play the video.
Kenny, you're fantastic, haha. Kenny, you're a classic, haha. Kenny, we hadn't seen you fly before. Now we have it once more. Ready, you'll show you the door. The drone lovers scorn. Oh, we love you, Kenny, have you crushed it? Aha, Kenny, have you smashed it? Aha, Kenny, with a gamepad in your hand, you look like an angry man. Come on, pilots, say they're good, they're your biggest fans. Oh, we love you, Kenny.
This was the problem.
It's not a problem anymore.
Boing. Ken, Heron, welcome.
Hey, can I bring my own applause? Hey, yay me. Yay me.
Ken, thanks for coming and joining us today. It's wonderful to have you here, and it was fun looking back at that. Just for those who haven't seen it before, that video was put together by myself with the wonderful backing vocal talent of our very own producer, my beautiful wife over here.
You guys did a great job. But before we go any further, let me just say something. Grumpy, Lloyd, I want to tell you I love you, man. I'm looking at him backstage here, but is he watching? He's watching.
He's watching.
Lloyd, he's watching. People think you're grumpy because your name is Grumpy, but you're not. You're a kind and decent human being.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Ken.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
You are a sweet and nice guy, and you're not grumpy at all.
Well, I have my moments.
You smell a little musty, but other than that.
Yeah. Well, it's usually the kids out on the front lawn that tick me off, and I have to run them off, But other than that, I send my dogs out to chase them.
You shoot one of the neighbor kids with a BB gun in the ass one time, they're not going to bother your lawn anymore.
Pretty much it's worked so far.
Yeah. And John, I'm watching all these guys backstage. Every time John thinks he's not on camera, another Tim Tam goes in.
Yeah.
It's actually nougat. See, in Adelaide over here, they have a company called Haig's. All the Australians now are going, yes, Haig's chocolates. So we've had a mission, and we've actually filled our bags to go home with this Haig's chocolate. So get this one, a dark chocolate with a really high quality nougat. We're talking about the real thing here, guys. And I just can't stop eating it. I can't. So Tim Tam, no, forget it. This is a whole nother level, Ken. A whole nother level.
Okay. Well, somebody put a link in the description where I can get those, because while I was waiting to come on, I thought you were eating Tim Tams, and I ordered me two boxes.
Speaking of Tim Tams, I've got to tell you, I found in the supermarket the other day, they now have mango Tim Tams. That's insane. Anyway.
Well, that's like Oreo coming up with all these wacky flavors.
Yeah.
Just stop, Oreo. Just stop.
Really. They just ruin a good thing.
How much are Tim Tams in Australia? How much are they?
A couple of bucks. $2.50.
Like $1, $2?
$2.50 for a packet. Yep.
I just ordered 2 for $18 on Amazon.
Amazon's making a lot of money.
I guess that's shipping from, your place to.
It's expensive, but let's
how much do you pay for Vegemite?
Target.
We've got to get Ken some more Vegemite though. That's absolutely correct. Let's make sure that we can do that.
I'm totally ready for Vegemite.
Anyway, let's talk about drones. This is, after all, OzByDrone, and we'd love to talk.
No, we're going to talk about Tim Tams for the next 30 minutes. Buckle up. I'm just kidding. I love derailing.
He does.
Because
he loves it.
Maybe you don't know, but he plans this out to the minute. You know, you try to change the subject, his face is getting as red as mine. He's like, what's this Ken doing? We're talking about Tim Tams, the drone channel. I love it.
That's my favorite hobby.
Messing him up, derailing him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, mine too.
Look, Ken, I'd like to ask you. Look, I'll stay on track. I'll focus. Ken, I'd like to ask you. You have flown the.
He didn't even know what it was called. What are you talking about? He's flown it. He wasn't sure what it was even called.
That's what they're calling it.
That's the gayest thing I've ever heard.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's a dumb name for it. That's so dumb.
Like
I thought that was
I
I had heard that it was called Flash, but I thought that was a code name before they let the product out. I don't think they're really calling it that.
Mavic?
Well, like Ginger. Remember what the Ginger was? Anybody?
No.
That was the two-wheeled conveyance. Before it was, what are those things that the hippies tried? The Sega, the Segway.
Oh, the Sega.
Yeah,
Segway.
It was called the Ginger before it was released.
From what I gather, it is actually called the DJI Flash because apparently that's what's gone into the FCC documentation, and we've seen it in all sorts of other websites. That's actually what it's called. Having said that, you've flown it.
I have, yes.
So
briefly, and not all that well.
Come on, let's go.
Tell me about the experience and your comments, your feedback as a flyer.
It was very it was smaller than I thought it would be. In all the pictures, it's hard to tell scale, but it is probably a little bit larger than a 5-inch FPV quad.
Mm-hmm.
It's very well built. It feels solid. And when you turn it on, it makes the best noises. The boot up sound is just fierce sounding, and it's got these lights. It's got like tail lights, and it wraps around. It's really cool looking. That's why they call it the Flash, because when you turn it on, it's like it does a light show for you.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
And the aircraft itself, is it able to be flown non-FPV? Does it have the ability to have a monitor display if you wanted to do that? And there's a reason why I'm asking that question.
Yeah. It defaults to GPS. You have to get it up in the air and then line up these little dots to get it to go into acro mode.
Yeah, I'm not talking about flight mode. I'm talking about display and the ability to go and see something on a screen instead of in goggles. Does it have the ability to see something on a display?
Oh, you mean an external display?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure it would. It uses OcuSync 3. So
okay.
Like, what's OcuSync 3, Ken? Let's talk about that. That's a new one?
Yeah, it's just the next, and it uses the goggles version 2.
Right.
Which, and it's backwards compatible. So if you have the original goggles, then it will work with these as well. And the resolution is not that big of a difference. So
what's the range?
If you don't have the goggles already, get the version 2.
John was just saying, what's the range? Have you got?
I don't have any of that. I was only with it for about 10 to 15 minutes. The person I was with, they flew it a little bit better than me, and they got it going. It screams the noises. I wish I was allowed to record the noises, but it's like, can't even replicate it. It just sounds great when it goes by. It doesn't sound like any other DJI product.
So the reason for the question about can you use an external screen, because John and I were chatting before the show today about this, and the question is it a legal product in Australia? Are you able to fly it legally in this country? So if we just go to John for a minute, John, can you explain the regulations and your thoughts and your concerns?
Yeah, 101029 says you've got to be able to see the craft with your own eyes, unaided at all times. Or without, or you've got to have an approval to operate otherwise. So the model flyers here, the radio control guys, at their registered fields where they have procedures in place, they're allowed to muck around with it. But no one in the drone world without a specific approval can fly where, I mean, you can have a spotter, but even then you're supposed to have procedures. How does the spotter tell you where you are? How do you communicate with each other? I mean, it's all very regulatory guff. But the problem is that there's legislation there, and recreational users are bound by what we call the SOC, or the standard operating conditions. And then one of the operating conditions is you have to be able to see the aircraft with your own eyes, unaided.
And again, you just mentioned you can have a spotter. Technically, having a spotter is only something that happens at a model field. If you want to go down to your local park or wherever it is that you want to go and fly FPV, you can't just say, well, I've got a spotter and I've got procedures and it's okay to fly. You can only do it.
I certainly don't want to send this into a wowzer session, because I'm really looking forward to flying this aeroplane, and I want something that goes fast and is loud and is fun. I definitely want to see that come into our hobby. I think that where people would have done some drone racing before, we're going to see this aircraft, or aircraft of this type, bring a whole level of new cinematic aerobatic flying. So you're going to take high res. We're going to see high res cameras, and like the when you have a GoPro camera on a helm of a dirt bike flying through the air, and you have a surfer with something on their surfboard. Now we can fly with this high end visual cinematography. This is not related to racing, but it's high speed, high energy stuff. And our FPV flyers have given us this for a while, and this opens the door to all of us to have a go. And I think it's going to be great. I'm just worried that someone's going to spoil it for us. That's
well, as you know, innovation always outpaces regulation, always, and so lawmakers all over the world are going to have to deal with this, because it really is a hybrid between GPS and FPV, and there's going to be a lot. This is going to be in the hands of a lot of people that aren't experienced with flying a drone that fast. This thing goes very, very fast. I don't know the top speed, but it's faster than you can run.
So let me ask you, Ken, in the US, just to clarify, if you've got a spotter, you can fly FPV in the US. There's no special restrictions on locations. You don't have to be at a registered field or anything like that.
Right. As far as I understand, that is the rule. I asked about this a couple of years ago, and what I was told by my local FSDO, the FAA essentially, is that you do have to have VLOS, visual line of sight, but you can from time to time look in a goggle and then back up again. Remember those big old DJI goggles? I asked when those first came out. Mm-hmm. But and then I asked another member of FSDO if FPV was considered legal, and they said not really, but if you have a spotter next to you that can keep visual line of sight on it, then you can. So it's such a gray area, but I prefer to interpret the way that it benefits me. So
yeah,
okay.
So we all do that. I mean, here
in Australia, if you simply put these eyeballs on the front of your goggles, you can have eyes on it at all times. and you wouldn't be
shameless plug.
Really?
Of course, it's
for me.
Okay.
Well, it's very clear in Australia. There's no grey area in Australia about that kind of thing. So,
can I suggest that it's probably the same in terms of regulation, but just application. If there's no crash in Australia and there's no accident, they're not going to go and send around the line of sight police. They're not going to send out the line of sight police to you.
Yeah. Has anybody been prosecuted? You guys have a lot of great FPV pilots there. And
we have a lot of great FPV pilots, but here's the difference, right? FPV pilots crash all the time. We know that. They go through bags of props with their lightweight quads, and they fly in sensible areas, right? Because the FPV guys generally know what risks and how many times they crash, right? We're talking about people who are buying this new aeroplane who don't know that, right? So get this, if you're flying via a screen, so you've got your Mavic 2, and you're flying beyond visual line of sight, which many recreational users do. Of course, everyone does, but you're flying high. Now, this is a different ball game. This is an aeroplane where it's only exciting if you're about 6 inches off the ground going 150 kilometres an hour. So where's the problem in that? It's going to crash. It's definitely going to crash. And so it's a different world. We're talking about a new environment to fly in that is 6 inches off the ground at high speed.
Well, governments aren't going to be beholden to logic. Come on.
No, they're not. They're not. Absolutely not at all.
A reasonable flight is not viewed upon by the government that way. They say, well, were you here? Were you there? They don't care if you were perfectly safe. If you break any of the rules, then that's, they're not going to ban.
No, I agree. It'll probably come up to the fact that the FAA or our FAA, you'll be going along to your please explain interview with your teeth missing because you've flown it straight into your gob. I mean,
right. I actually got a call the day before yesterday from the FAA, and I said hello, and they said, "Hi, is this Ken Heron?" I said, "Yeah." Well, we're following up on a complaint that was lodged against you. I said, "Do tell." And she said, "Do you have a Part 107 certificate?" I said, "Yes." They said, "Do you have a daytime waiver to fly at night?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Thank you. Goodbye." Some knucklehead out there who is one of the group that always thumbs down my videos before they even see it. They just hate me for whatever reason. Maybe it's because I smell better than them or whatever. But
it's your hair.
They get all, that's what it is. They get all bent out of shape. Oh, Ken's flying at night. Ken's having too much fun. Let's mess it up for him. Hello, FAA.
But see, I couldn't use the goggles. I don't have to worry about the distance on these drones because my visual line of sight, I never fly over 20 feet high or 20 feet away because after that, I can't see the damn thing.
Well, what, Grumpy? Have you ever used the DJI digital goggles?
No, I've never used goggles at all. I fly a Mavic Air, the original, and
you can get the goggles that when you turn them upside down, look like a toilet.
Right.
But they're made to put glasses. I can wear my glasses in the goggles.
Yeah. See, that's always been the reason I haven't that, and I'm cheap.
Oh well, there's that. There's no.
But to add to that problem, though, one of the things is, and I've got to do a demonstration of this in 2 weeks' time. So you say, let's agree that if you've got good eyesight, and you can see 400 meters. How many feet's that, right? Lloyd, 1,200 feet. Does that make sense?
Something like that, yeah.
The truth is, if you stare at the aircraft while it goes away from you, yes, you can see that far. If you fly the airplane half that distance, and then you look down at a screen just for a moment to either set up a photo, what your eyes do is they refocus on the close end of this, and then when you look up, the airplane's gone. You need your eyes to focus. And this might be an interesting story. Years ago, when I was a youngster, I used to crop dust, and flying crop dust is very dangerous.
I'm crop dusting right now.
Yeah,
he beat me to it.
Grumpy and Ken are such fertilizers. Thank you. So what you used to do is, and when I first came into it, you learned as you're flying along, right along low to the crop, the wheels are down in the crop. And so to avoid wires, what you do is you look on the ground at a point 500 yards ahead, and then you look up. And so your eyes focus on a ground point, and you look up for the wire. If you look into the sky, you'll never see a wire in front of you. So it continually scan pattern. Looking down, set your focus, look up. Look down, set your scan focus, you go up. And you do it after a while, you do it automatically. Now, as far as when we bring it back to our format of looking down at a screen, which is right next to you, probably 1 foot away, and then looking into the sky, you see nothing. So the whole visual line of sight thing is a crock anyway.
It is a crock. It is a crock. You know what? They tell you to drive your car a certain way, 10 and 2. I assume it's the same way in Australia. But eventually, after you gain experience as a driver, eventually you find your own comfortable way to hold the wheel, maybe with your knee or whatever. People are going to drive their cars the safest way they know how. Of course, you can become complacent after time. But what I'm saying is, if you buy these expensive drones, you're going to want to keep them and not crash them. That's the intention of every pilot. No pilot, unless they're just wacky, is going to intentionally crash these expensive things. And so we know our own vision. We know our own limitations. How far can we see it? You really shouldn't fly it past where you can see it. But we don't need the government trying to guess the safest way when we can work that out for ourselves.
Now, I really accept that, Ken, but I'm going to let me give you the other side of this, and people might appreciate this, because I love the analogy that you gave about driving, right? And driving with your knee, which you might feel is very, very comfortable and able to do, and you've got lots of experience. In professional aviation, the people that drive the airplanes that fly you around the world don't do that. They don't do that. In professional aviation, we accept that the correct way to do things is the correct way to do it every time. Now, this is our dilemma. We're dealing with a regulatory authority that has been in aviation since the beginning of time, and because we do accept that there is these, and you don't have to, you don't fly a jumbo jet with your knee because you feel it's easy. You put your hands on the controls the way you've been trained to do it, and you fly the bloody thing correctly every time. And that's what we promise to do. That's our pledge. So are we pilots, or are we going to just make up our own stuff? I'm just throwing this up for conversation, and I don't want to be that wowser as well. I want to talk about it with people who fly and people who are pilots, and that's what we are. We're pilots.
Okay, so getting back just briefly to take this back to something that's real, even with the technology to help you.
Yeah.
Even with the technology to help you, there's someone I know that was flying and hit power lines the first time, I think, out with a drone. What was it, Ken?
That was the error on Skydio's part.
So even with the technology in there, there's going to be, the point that I'm making is there's going to be crashes, even with the technology that's supposed to make it impossible to crash the thing. Things still happen. But anyway.
Yeah, let me show you something. I got to tell you, I love the Autel Evo 2. I love it, love it, love it. And I have a video that I'm editing right now where an incident happened. And it's because of the onboard technology that it's still with me. And so I don't know if you've seen this drone, but it's beautiful. It's ugly. It's orange. Oh wait, hold on. I grabbed the same thing. It's the same color. Wait, hold on. Which one? Which one is the drone? This one.
Autel Evo, made by Black & Decker.
But yeah, that's right. Look at the obstacle avoidance on here. This stuff on here. This is a result of a company wanting to help inexperienced pilots. This creates a bubble around it that's not supposed to allow it to crash. But I managed to find a way.
Okay.
But it's okay. It's okay.
Okay. So everyone keep tuned to Ken's channel and look out for the notifications and make sure that you go and watch to find out
that's good.
how he crashed it.
It almost crashed, let's say.
Okay. Yeah. Look, it's been fun chatting to you, Ken, but I think it's probably about time for us now. See if my titling stuff, it may have actually come back to life. Let's give that a go and that one a go. And
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time to play Stump the Yank.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we don't have the video stuff on the screen, and I've probably set Lloyd off on a great tangent to go and start Googling and find something to stump our friend Ken with, because it's time to play Stump the Yank.
You don't mind if I yank the stump instead, right?
Speaking of that, Ken, the first question is, what does it mean when the Aussie says, I'm a little stiff? Does that mean something to do with their stump?
I'm a little stiff.
Yeah.
For Australians. What does that mean?
Yeah. What does that mean? Or does it mean they've worked too hard in the outback and their shoulders are sore? Or does it mean they're broke?
They're broke.
Okay. That's what it
Is that
means.
right?
A little short.
Okay, good. So yay me.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Why does it do that?
I don't know.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
That's
Okay.
good. That's good. He's up one.
Yeah, he is. I went through this last week. Okay. When Australians are referring to somebody, who do they mean when they say auntie or auntie, however you want to say it?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Is it
Auntie.
Aunt, your aunt, however you say it in your part of the world. I say aunt. Auntie. Who is it? Is it the government? Like we have Uncle Sam.
Auntie someone.
Or is it, their auntie, some
Rebellion.
lady who's sort of the head of the village, or the local, or is it could it be their broadcast system?
Or is it a rebellious group?
Or is it a rebellious group?
It's got to be a broadcasting system, right?
Yeah, it is.
Australia Broadcasting, ABC.
Look at me.
Auntie ABC, yeah.
Yeah. Man, he's making me work for these. Okay.
What do I win? Tim Tams?
A pair of budgie smugglers.
Yeah, some budgie smugglers. What
My
are
wife
budgie
is saying
smugglers?
down below, is Ken Googling it or something down there?
Yeah.
Budgie what?
You've always got your hands on your controllers.
Yeah.
No, that's just my sound effects.
Okay.
Budgie what?
What are budgie smugglers? Are they people that steal birds from Australia? Because, they have all sorts of rare birds in Australia.
Including special pigeons.
Including special pigeons. Are they pirates? That smuggle a booze called budgie, budgie beer. Or is it swim trunks?
Well, isn't the answer always C? I'll go with swim trunks.
I got to quit doing that. Jesus.
Is that right?
It is.
Man.
Yeah. Speedos. Speedos are budgie smugglers. All right.
Look,
Needs
that'll
no
do us for
explanation.
today. That'll do us for today. But since we've got...
That's it?
That's it. But there's something else that I would like to do. And this is without preparation. And especially without my titles. I don't know why it's not working. There's a game that we play sometimes called Joking Off. So it's a really simple one. Ken, I want you to try and... Have you got some game show music that you can do? Because my titling thing's not working today. Here we go.
No, not that one. How about... Oh. All right.
And ladies and gentlemen, and now it's time for the game that we love to crack each other up. It's Joking Off.
Are we going to joke off in front of everybody?
Yeah, so it's a really simple one, Ken. You've got to try and tell a joke that's so funny that you force one of the other three people to laugh. If you can tell it and you make us laugh, you win a point. If we can remain straight-faced, you lose.
Oh, I don't remember jokes. I don't have any. I have like one standby joke that is so dirty that it would violate the YouTube's community guidelines.
Now I'm laughing.
I got nothing. I don't remember jokey jokes.
So you're the guy who goes and does his show, and you always say, "Kelly, tell me a joke," but you've got nothing.
Alexa, tell me a joke.
Did I tell?
Did go to the party?
Why?
He was on duty.
There you go. Thank you.
What was it? I missed the beginning of it.
Why did the dung? I can't remember. Forget
Dung beetle.
Dung beetle. There's the punchline. Dung beetle. Alexa, tell me another joke.
Did I tell the one last time about the guy who?
Why?
They always end up in hot water.
Why are coffee beans such troublemakers? They always end up in hot water.
Okay, John, what do you got?
Did you hear about the guy who walked into a bar waving a Colt 45, and he's waving it around the room, and he says, "Hey, everybody, I got a Colt 45 here. I got 7 bullets in the magazine, and I got 1 in the chamber, and I want to know who's sleeping with my wife." And a voice from up the back says, "You're going to need more ammo, mate."
That's a good one. I'd pay that one.
Thank you. All right, the other guys have heard it. Lloyd's heard it, obviously, or he's been that guy.
Judy?
No, I have not.
There you go.
But I've been married to that woman. X1 and 2.
Oh, there you go. There's a joke there.
Did you hear about the mathematician who's afraid of negative numbers? He'll stop at nothing to avoid them. Okay. Didn't work. Okay. Okay, Ken. It's been fun having you.
He's gone.
Has it though? Has it?
It has been fun having you. Thank you for being part of the show, and thanks for doing.
That's it?
Well,
that's it. That's it.
Hey, you and I could take over the show, Ken. We could have a ball with this, you know. Yeah.
Oh no,
right?
we got some more news at the end, and I tell you what, we're going to have one other giveaway today. At the end of the show, we're going to give Ken away.
Shirt and everything.
You what?
I put on my best shirt and everything for you, man.
Look, at least it's clean. Why don't we do some of the news and we can ask Ken's opinion on the news? That'll be interesting. That'll be entertaining.
I don't have jokes,
that.
but I have opinions.
He's got lots of opinions. He's full of it. So let's skip ahead. I want to go to EHang because Ken's got opinions about this. We're going to go to story 107.
Yeah, good.
So I'm just helping my producer get to the right bit of her kind of stuff there.
I want one of these.
In the stock industry, short selling is a strategy that was central to the global financial crisis. Recently, Chinese drone maker EHang has hit back at reports by a short seller that EHang's business is an elaborate stock promotion built largely on fabricated revenues and sham sales contracts. The Wolfpack team who did the report, they also included the video that you're having a look at right now where an investigator toured the EHang factory unsupervised. And this was during the workday and there was basically no one there, nothing happening, and it appeared like the light's on but no one's home.
Chinese New Year.
It wasn't during Chinese New Year.
Well, isn't everybody working from home these days because of COVID?
Possibly, but if you're in a manufacturing business, you'd hope that you're manufacturing something.
Well, it looks like they're already built and ready to go.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to believe that.
Sometimes competing companies will do this just to try to drive the other person's stock down.
Yeah, that might be their back garage. That might be the ones that they've just put out the back. I've seen some pretty compelling evidence that these guys are building some great airplanes. And we could believe it. I mean, they're in Shenzhen, and we've seen some good airplanes come out of Shenzhen.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe this conspiracy, but I can tell you something.
What?
Do tell.
Some of the windshields on those drones are made from the crushed up bones of orphans. It's just something I heard.
Okay.
Next.
And I broke the internet.
Okay. I'm just going to have a quick interlude as well. I've got a super chat that I missed before from Wayne King. Hi, Greg and team. An extra $10 this week because Ken's on the show. Does that mean I got to give some of it to him?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, that's what that means. Hey, my screen's frozen. Are you frozen?
It's not frozen.
No,
it's working.
Mine was doing that too. It'll switch scenes and it'll straighten back up.
Freaking Wirecast.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Wire trash. At his
Give him the
best.
$10, Greg. He can buy himself a nicer shirt.
Oh.
So let's move on to our next topic. We had a look before at a VTOL aircraft. Let's have a look at story 108. AeroVironment's Jump 20 is a runway-independent fixed-wing UAS with vertical takeoff and landing capability, 14 hours of endurance and an operating range of 185 kilometres. Ideal for multi-mission operations, the system can be set up and operational in less than 60 minutes without the need for launch or recovery equipment. But have a look at this one, Ken, your drill. They're using your drill to start it up.
That's
Did you
cool.
see that? John, what type of aircraft is it that's going to need a drill to go and get the prop started? Have you seen that before?
Absolutely. Yeah, we use them. It's a starter. It's not a drill. It's a starter. Like most radio control guys used to start their petrol engine. So it's got the forward propulsion engine is running on methanol and castor oil, like a normal glow engine, 4-stroke, and
it's a
the other ones are electric.
multiplier.
Yeah, force multiplier.
It is indeed a force multiplier. If you've got a force and you need to multiply it, by God, you get you one of these damn things.
As Greg lose control of the show.
Okay.
You know, I was only joking about the shirt, don't you, Ken? You wouldn't take that to heart, would you? I mean, Australian humour is very, very raw.
I'm crying on the inside.
No, you just forget it. You know, if we ever do things like that, you know, that's what we do to each other. We joke, we laugh about ourselves. In this case, I was laughing about you, but that's
no
fine.
problem, Baldy.
Hey,
that's right. There you go. There you go.
Hey, I wore my long johns for this show. That just shows you how much I think of it.
There you go.
Well, at least you're not in your pink bunny suit that we've seen once before. But anyway, one of the disadvantages of lockdown for gearheads is that you can't go to meets or events or museums. Last year, the Porsche Museum, based in Stuttgart, Germany, was forced to close its doors to visitors. It reopened last May, and then it offered free digital tours to visitors who couldn't attend the grand reopening. The drone camera on this video takes us on a tour through the entire museum, sweeping past historic models showing how the brand has evolved over the last 70 plus years. Check it out.
The Porsche Museum is the place to visit when it comes to the world of fascinating sports cars.
Ken, have you been doing voiceovers?
It sounds like me, doesn't it?
It's a place
These cars are force
where you can
multipliers.
dream with your eyes wide open.
It does sound like you.
Where
Why? 'Cause he's
forgotten
American?
memories
No, just the tone as well.
turn into new emotions.
So just some really nice clips there, and again, use of drone technology to go and take people out in
On 30,000.
these
Right,
COVID
and I'm
times.
sure that the museum will open up again one day. But in the meantime, if you want to see a bunch of Porsches all together in one spot, just go to the richest, douchiest neighborhood, and they'll all be parked out in front of the houses there. Sorry, Porsche owners. I would say a majority of Porsche owners are what we like to refer to as douches.
Okay.
Wow.
Did I just go PG-13.1 on you?
No.
Sorry. Did I
Okay.
just aggravate all the Porsche owners out there?
I've got, something like that. I've got one more clip though, Ken, and I'm going to ask for your help. I need some music. This is kind of like a Johnny FPV style music to go over the top of it. I didn't get a chance to go and get some. Have you got something there?
Oh yeah. Let me find something. Here we go.
Here we
Okay.
go. So the 2021 NASCAR season on Fox Sports has been highlighted by the use of drones, giving a new look and feel to the productions. Cue the music.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if that was the music I was looking for, but anyway. But again, some really cool drone use in the sporting industry this year by Fox. And that's all we've got for today.
The occasion?
Really?
I went to one of those car races in America, Greg.
And suddenly you guys are all muted. I can't hear you.
You know that? I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me?
And the audio's gone.
We can hear you.
We can hear you, and I can hear the other people.
There we go.
I can hear you.
And we're back.
I'm here.
It was my Wirecast. My bad.
Okay.
I can hear you.
So, Greg, I don't know if you've been to America, but when I went to America, I went to one of these Daytona things where they race around the car track like that and in front of everybody. It's fantastic. Best day out ever. Really, really good. And you can buy even fairy floss that's lime coloured, the pink stuff. You can get chocolate. I mean, the amount of stuff that I could eat there was just mind blowing. But the cars were good too.
Did you ask?
You just went for the food.
Did you ask? Did you go up to the cotton candy guy and ask for floss?
Yeah, I did.
Fairy floss. Fairy floss. That's what he said. Yeah.
Fairy floss.
Yeah.
Fairy floss. That's what I was like.
That's something that certain people wear in certain clubs. That's what that was.
Is it? All right.
Down south, that could get you beat up.
It could.
Yeah, especially at a NASCAR race. That's a good way to get beat up.
Like the time I asked my school teacher for a rubber, I did mean an eraser, but it's a different thing, So anyway.
Lost in translation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're worried about PG-13. I think we just went there.
Yeah. We've been there and
Greg
crossed
just
that.
lost complete control.
Look, I tell you what,
Ken.
Yeah, he's succeeded. There were two more stories that I did skip over. One of them about European drone regulations. We'll do that next week. But just before we go, I want to go to 106, Tesla batteries for storage. Pretty amazing technology. This story takes a drone's eye view of a PG&E installation in California that is nearing completion. And I've just sent my producer for 6. She has no idea what's going on. There we go. Look, the reason why this was interesting, aside from the aerial footage of that and their use of battery technology, ultimately battery technology is the stuff that we need as drone pilots and drone operators. So a lot of the Tesla research hopefully is going to filter its way down to us.
Yeah, are those batteries on the ground there?
Yeah.
What in the hell would...
Oh, it's a battery farm.
It's a battery farm. So this is 256.
I've seen these before. It's a hell of a thing getting those into the huge ass quad, and with the huge Velcro that you have to wrap around the battery.
I know.
It's a 3-person job at least.
Well, they must.
Well, NASA was using them for their rovers.
What?
That rover didn't look that big. What do they do? Plant like a DJI drone, battery, and then they grow into this?
I can just imagine some guy walking up and said they've seen these batteries on the ground like that, and one guy says to the other, "What did they say again? In series or in parallel?"
You know what? In all seriousness, part of the problem with electrical grids is storing electricity, and this takes care of that. Have you seen those? I don't forget what they call them. Those solar ones where they focus all the sun on a central point.
Yeah,
I've seen them. I'm looking at John's head right now.
We got one of those. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
we got one of those. Yeah.
Is they have liquid in that's running throughout the system, and at night it's liquid. It's saline liquid. It's salty liquid, and it's able to retain the heat overnight so that they can run the turbines even when the sun is not around. And I thought
that's a place called White Cliffs. We built the first one of those in the world. Australia did, out at White Cliffs, and it's exactly what it is. It uses a dish to concentrate sunlight, heat the saline solution, just like you say. I've seen it.
It's good stuff, man.
Okay.
And what else have Australians invented?
Vegemite.
Well, okay, we'll forgive you for that atrocity, but what else?
Monte Carlo.
You invented the Monte Carlo car? That's a classic.
No, it's a biscuit.
It's a biscuit.
Man. It's a biscuit. It's
Never
got
heard
jam
of
in it.
Anything that I would have heard of. Like the TV? Did you invent the TV? The wheel? Something big. What do you guys have? What do you got?
Kangaroos.
You didn't invent the kangaroo.
Platypus. Koala bear.
I don't think
that's all ours. That's all ours. You haven't got koala bears.
And don't forget drop bears.
Alexa, what things has Australia invented?
We have invented football, meat pies, kangaroos, and Holden cars.
Foreveryone.com.au. The Ute, or utility truck.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah,
the
utility trucks.
Look,
yeah, that's
all
what
you
putting
need to
stuff
know.
in the back. Yeah,
Ken, all you need to know, we invented football, meat pies, kangaroos, and Holden cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not real football. You the one that's soccer. You invented soccer, did you?
No, they don't even play soccer.
No. Australian rules.
Australian League football. It's like a cross between rugby, American football without the pads.
I was about to say, we don't need the shoulder pads.
Yeah, we don't need the shoulder. You don't wear a helmet.
Our NFL players would probably get their butts kicked if they had to get out there and play American League football. I got to admit, or Australian League football.
You know why Australians don't use shoulder pads when they play football?
Here it comes.
Because you have lovely, beautiful, national free health care. I'm jealous.
That's totally right. Totally right. Yeah.
You break your collarbone, no skin off my nose. I just go get it fixed.
We invented healthcare. Yeah, I wish.
Yeah.
Okay. Look,
go
ladies and gentlemen.
Emergency room. You see dudes with knives sticking in their heads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I derailed Greg again. I love it. And he's never going to invite me back. He's never invited me back on his show ever again.
Oh, he has me on his co-host occasion when John can't make it. And that's my favorite part of the show is just derailing him as much as I can.
Even better than that is if his guests talk too long without Greg talking at all. You can look over, like if you and I were having a conversation.
Right,
and Greg's just sitting there thinking his show has gone out of control. He'll try to interject sometimes and be like, but I'm trying to get it back up, but we're just talking and ignoring
I know.
him.
We could probably just ignore him because,
John,
without a script, he's lost.
That's absolutely true. John, do you use any product in that goatee that you mentioned?
I do, but while I was looking at the previous screen, go back to the previous shot, I was just thinking how it was just feeling like I'm sitting on top of Lloyd's head. And if I look down and he takes his hat off, we can have all sorts of fun with that. And Greg's really wondering what to say next.
Yeah, he's at a total loss. Yeah,
I like looking up Greg's shirt. Here's something you may not have known about Greg.
I don't use product.
His left nipple is pierced. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
You never know that about Greg.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that.
And his left ear looks like it's got something in it as well.
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah, all Lloyd has is a bunch of hair in there.
Yeah.
All right.
He's gone.
Okay. Show is completely.
Boys and girls and lovers of drones everywhere. Welcome to Thursday Night Live. I've taken over OzByDrone. It's my channel now.
And Grumpy Blogger Live, your Monday night show.
This is what happened in the Second World War with you guys. I remember this.
Can I just share something? My wife right now is actually, her jaw is painful. She's holding her head to stop getting pain in her jaw from laughing too much.
Let's see how long we can keep this stream going.
Oh yeah, we could keep it going forever. Yeah,
we will say goodbye because we've got Kelly and Ready Set Drone, and they've started about 10 minutes ago.
I'm not. You're trying to kick me out, but I'm not leaving.
I've got a feeling Ken sort of does some time talking to himself anyway, so I don't think it's going to matter.
I talk to myself all the time too.
John, can you actually see my imaginary friend? Because I
can. I know. He's on your shoulder, on your left side. That's right. Yeah,
he can see you.
I can see him. Yeah, absolutely.
Weird. Next time, Ken, have him put a shirt on, though. I mean, that's just embarrassing. See him without a shirt.
Yeah.
And get him a decent one. I mean, talk to someone about your wardrobe.
I had the Emperor get him some new clothes.
Oh, is that it? The Emperor's new clothes. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. There's a literal reference that hardly anybody understands.
And I don't use product either.
You don't?
I don't even know what in Australia. I don't know what product is. I don't know what you're talking about. You mean
I've solved the problem. I've solved the
Beer
problem.
lotion.
I've
What's
solved the
that?
problem. I've muted Ken. You guys can still hear him, but he's not going to air anymore, and he's never sounded better.
I've been muted.
You're back. You're back. I put you back.
We're still looking at your shirt, though.
I did.
Yeah, I can
He
still
mutes
see
me
your
all the
shirt.
time, Ken, so don't feel bad.
Yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of the show. We're going to
wrap up the stream right now. You're gonna have to mute me again, man.
And don't forget Kelly at Ready Set Drones.
We're going to have a competition at the end of the show today. The last person to chat on screen is going to win a No Limit Drones license. He's muted. No one else can hear him except for John and Lloyd. I can't hear him. Someone's going to win a No Limit Drones license. Let me just tell you about No Limit Drones. They've been helping us for a while. You can use it to go and take off the shackles off your DJI product and fly like a bird. Oh, is that bird's the word? Fly like a bird.
We have lost total control of this show.
We have. So, last person to chat today, they win a copy of No Limit Drones. Go check them out. I'll put the link in the chat. Thanks for watching.
Muted?
Thanks for being part of the show. We're going to say goodbye and see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Bye, everyone.
I don't think so.
I'm waiting for my producer to press the button. Please, dear God, press it.
Press the button. Don't do it. Don't press the button. Don't